Hello, everyone. This is Lisa from Power Wheelchairs for Success. And today I'm going to kind of redo a video I did some time ago. It didn't have a lot of views, but it had some views. So I think that it's still important for people out there. So this is the subject. This is about the difficulties that wheelchair users face on a daily basis. So let me break it down a little bit, which I didn't do last time. So this might be helpful. So at home, let's talk about at home. The challenges that wheelchair users face at home are usually the kitchen, because they can't reach things, bathrooms, because the bathroom wasn't accessible to begin with, unless a person made it accessible soon after. And what else? And sometimes the bathroom, not the bathroom, the bedroom is not accessible. So at home, those three plus the entrance ways to the home. Usually there's two for fire hazard reasons. You know, if you can't exit one door, you can go in the other one, out the other one. So they might only have one route in which they could enter. However, it would be prudent if they had two routes, just in case. So that's in the home. Let's talk about the world out there. And in the world out there, there's a lot more unpredictability in terms of accessibility. For instance, restaurants, we have to check before going or learn a few vendors or places to go before we go, and just have those like a list of places that we know for sure are handicap accessible. So we just can't launch ourselves out there like normal people. We have to stop and think, is it accessible? You know, one of the restaurants that I went to with my family, to them it was accessible, no issues. However, there was this big cement hump over the the gutter. So I had to maneuver this scooter that I was using when I went to visit them. So accessibility is not always there when we want it to. And some places are exempt from creating their building accessible for us. Parks. You know, when we go out there, we also have to research. Sometimes we have to call and make sure there's accessible trails for us to go on. So we always have to check, and check. Hotels. Hotels have strange ideas about what is accessible and what is not. I'm not sure where they're getting their training, but it's hard these days to find a hotel that's accessible and that they understand what accessible means. So I think we are the farthest from being able to experience accessibility in hotels, and they need a lot of prompting, suggestions, all those kind of things. So hotels are problematic. The other thing that we seem to, and we're working on it now, there's a special organization, they're not paying me for this advertisement, but All Wheels Up is a national organization now, and they're fighting for our rights to be able to drive our wheelchairs right onto the plane and not have to change seats, not have to change wheelchairs, not have to put our wheelchair down below. So I don't know how long this will take, but I'm hoping and praying that in the next year or two we'll have it resolved, and you and I who use wheelchairs can just slide onto the plane, get locked in whatever aisle we're in, and away we go. So that's still a work in progress. Accessibility. We struggle with, being able to reach things, being able to get through lines sometimes when there's a big crowd. So yes, we're constantly saying, excuse me, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me, hello, I'm down here. I need to get through, thank you. I think the other day, I was in a hurry, sorry, and I really needed to get through the crowd because I was following a family member and there was just a lot of people around me. And I didn't want to knock people over Although that would have been emergency alert, wheelchair nut coming down the hallway. Sometimes clinics, unbelievably, some clinics are not accessible. And nowadays, and also being able to have a doctor who understands disability, who understands using a wheelchair. My doc is made of gold. She's great. She understands. She does everything she needs to do. She doesn't ignore the fact that I'm in a wheelchair. So, so accessibility, we need to advocate folks. We need to educate folks. If you're ever in a center where of service that just did not get the memo, let's help them. Not in an angry way, because they expect us to be angry. I don't know why. I'm not an angry person, but I will speak firm when the situation is really obvious. The weird things people come up with that to them seems accessible, and why should they be bothered in the first place? So yes, we still have a ways to go, but I would say really to work on hotels, to help All Wheels Up as much as we can as they're working with the airlines, and restaurants. There's a venue that you really like, but it's not accessible. Talk to the owner, see if, a letter or a meeting with a group of you would work for that restaurant to consider opening another door or putting a ramp in. There's a restaurant near me down the road on Lisbon, and I won't say their name, but they put a ramp in. Nobody pushed for it, they just put a ramp in. So I know that restaurant is accessible and the ramp is in good shape and yada, yada, yada. So that's awesome. And I know someday I'll just drive down the road and go to lunch with someone just because. So yes, accessibility, that is one thing that we struggle with. And it takes a lot of advocacy on our part, but also you who do not use wheelchairs, you can advocate with us. I wouldn't suggest you advocate for us, because then that makes us feel small again and insignificant. Like we're in a wheelchair, all of a sudden we're blind and we're mute, and we're not. So include us. If you have some idea or you're itching to say something to someone, on your behalf, make sure that you ask us permission first and you do that advocacy with us instead of for us. So I'm hoping that makes sense, but I just wanted to cover this video again, make it better, and I will put some links down below so you can look at other articles and see what your thoughts and opinions are on this topic. All right, Lisa out.